Welcome to Survive in Real Life. I'm Daryl and this is Matthew. And if you watched our part 1 episode of our New Year's recap, you would have seen that we've talked about our best and worst moments that we've been through during the 2020 year. We talked about not knowing what our future holds, the rise of the Karens, working from home, new forms of socialization, and most importantly, Mandalorian Season 2.
Baby Yoda.
On this episode, we're divulging our top 4 best moments of 2020. So we're trying to keep it a little bit positive. But first, 2020 face.
I can't do it.
So Matt, how about you take us off with your, second best moment of 2020?
Yeah, I mean, I think, okay. So we talked a little bit about this in the first one. It was a hell of a year, right? And it was easy to fall down a hole of kind of despair and uncertainty and when's this going to end, and of course loneliness and all those things. So one thing that I saw really come out of the year was taking positives wherever you could find them and holding on to those throughout the year to keep you going and staying motivated. So I saw people take up hiking and just enjoy being out in nature and enjoy the quiet. For me, being on the I live in a city, so being on the highway with no traffic, man, that's a positive. Everything like that. The biggest thing for me that I've really held on to this year as like my big positive, the thing I was excited about all the way until September, and I've kept being excited about every week since, is my son's first day of school. I've been looking forward to this since he was born. I've been so excited for him to go to school. And so when everything started to go south, I was just holding on to that. Like, he's going to start school soon. That's going to be amazing. And it has been. And, that's one of the things that's carried me through. I've seen that with a lot of folks. Do you have anything like that? Like, have you found something that you just kind of anchor onto?
Oh, it's funny. My dad always taught me, if you cannot control something, you don't worry about it, right? So keep a positive outlook on life and it gets you through. You're happier, you're easier to deal with, and you want to wake up every morning motivated and full of ambition. And I hold true to that. You know what? I try not to bring myself down. Like, yes, everybody's living through this terrible time right now with like lack of sports. We have to wear masks. We can't socialize. But at the end of the day, we got to keep that light at the end of the tunnel. So like, it's going to end and everything should and could return back to normal faster than we think. But in terms of something that I hold dear this year, my number 2 best moment is honestly the bands I love doing live stream concerts.
That's a good one.
What's that?
That's a good one.
So Metallica, this is not a live stream concert, but Metallica actually released a Zoom version of Blackened, an acoustic version. So all 4 of the band members were on Zoom and they recorded it. And I'm like, you know what? For a bunch of guys who are up there in age who don't need to do that, I thought it was super impressive. But yes, they're my favorite band, but even better is a band that I truly adore is Trivium, and they released 2 free live stream concerts on YouTube and through their Twitch. And they did it because, like everybody else who loves going to concerts, nobody else can do it. And they did it for passion and love, and you can hear it in the way they talk and the way their music gets played. And I was pumped, and it was something so stupid that I'm just sitting here watching a YouTube concert where I can't be there in person. But I was like, you know what? Of all the crap that's happening, I could watch one of my favorite bands just perform live. Not in front of an audience. It's not the same energy, but it's them putting themselves out there. Mm-hmm. And I loved it. I loved every single moment of it.
Yeah.
But it was a cool set list too, so can't go wrong.
Well, so you remember the Trues? Remember I took you?
I remember the Trues.
Yeah. I remember when I interviewed them for the university paper once, and I brought you with me to meet them. That was kind of cool. But they released an album at the beginning of the year, and we're supposed to tour it, and obviously that all flunked. So they kind of did something similar. They went on Facebook and they did a bunch of like, live performances, but like really just they'd be live chatting with people. And like you said, they don't have to do it. And sure, it's promoting their album at the same time, but it was really cool. And my wife is a huge fan. So I remember how giddy she got when she saw they had this Facebook live streams on. And she was tuning in and just like, oh, John Angus is on, let's go, it was great.
Just appreciate it, right?
Yeah.
How about your number one?
Well, you speak about appreciation. And you kind of touched on this before when you talked in the first part of our series, where you talked about, new forms of communicating and new forms of socializing with people. This year brought in a lot of new ways for people to express themselves, or to do things like, how many people picked up a guitar and taught themselves, a new hobby, or to become a musician, to do woodworking, like whatever, right? And actually, we have a video on our channel covering some of those ideas from back in the beginning of the summer. But for you and I, it gave us a chance to do this channel. And, we're best friends. We live 10 hours apart. We see each other once a year as a priority, but we haven't been able to this year. And yeah, like we hang out, we talk every day, we hang out, we play video games and chat online. But this is something that we've been able to really pour our interests into. It's kind of brought us together in a new way. We've challenged each other. We're learning, obviously if you watch our first videos compared to these ones, they're getting better and we have a lot of improvements to make. But it's just been a lot of fun. It's been different and engaging, and it's been an awesome way for two best friends to do something cool together. So 2020 wasn't all bad. If it wasn't for that, if we didn't force us to slow down and to take stock of, okay, what can we do that's going to be good for our mental health, that's going to give us something to be excited about, we never would have done this. We never would have thought about it. It would have been on the back burner forever. So I'm, thankful for that.
It got me a little bit emotional.
Okay, hold on. 2020 face.
Almost jinxed it there. So my number one kind of goes with what you're having to say, in a sense where you're saying to slow down and enjoy things. So my number one is being a little bit selfish and enjoying me time. I've put a lot into my marriage. I've put a lot of time and effort into my career, and most importantly, into my kids. So I've kind of put my interest on the back burner. But now that my kids are, number one, sleeping through the night, knock on wood, but number two, are able to be independent, going to school, going to daycare, I have more time to enjoy what I love. And not only that, but I'm starting to incorporate what I love, my passions, onto my kids, because they're starting to be right into it. Stuff like, and we already talked about it last episode, The Mandalorian. My son and I watched The Mandalorian together, and he doesn't understand it. He just knows they're stormtroopers, but that's enough to get him started on it. He loved it. Number two, I get to go to the gym and spend more time there because my kids are able to get ready by themselves in the morning. So I get like an extra 10 minutes of gym time. And to me, that's huge. That puts me on such a right path in the morning. I got to play with more Legos during quarantine. Yeah, I put all my sets together. I started looking at my old pieces, found all my instructions, and just had a crazy imaginative vision of my future, building a huge Lego city with my kids. And more importantly, I got to play World of Warcraft with my best friend, and something that you and I used to do 10 years ago. And it's something so silly and something so juvenile, but it's something that I love so much. And I look forward to every time we play. I was going to say every night. It's probably every night. But every time we get together, because it's like you said, we're 10 hours apart, but it brings us closer together. Just something more that you and I could talk about and share with the rest of the world. So, yeah, my number one is enjoying me time.
And just to jump on that real quick, because it's kind of
been me time. Whoa.
Well, it's been a bit of an epiphany for me, right? It's been a bit of an epiphany for me because I've always put myself on the back burner, always, in all of my relationships, whether it's with my friends or my family or whatever, with the exception of maybe like my career stuff. I've always kind of been like, what do you want to do? Right? What are you interested in? How can we make you happy? And that makes me happy to do it. So I get something out of it too, but I don't think I realized how much I was kind of giving away. And this year being the way that it was, this past year being the way that it was, I started to burn out doing that because I was never away from anyone. So I was always giving. And I finally got to a point where I was like, okay, you know what? I do need to take care of me. I need to put some of that time aside for me. And
absolutely.
It's been a learning experience for me, honestly, is trying to find the balance. I think I went a little bit too far for a couple of months, and then finding that balance coming back, but yeah, it's important. And like, and the thing is, we talk about these positives and all this stuff. 2020 is just a date. It's not like that all changes now that the calendar's changed. It's 2021, but all these lessons that we learned in the last year, whether it's the empathy for your fellow man by wearing your mask, or looking out for your own mental health, or all of those things, we carry that forward into 2021. I'm a believer that all this stuff makes you stronger as a person going through it. It's hard to go through in the moment, but it's not all bad. So
you gotta stick to the positive, right?
Yeah. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you've been enjoying our videos over the last, how long have we been doing this now? 8 months? Something like that. It's been a while. Please share with your friends, like our video if you enjoyed it, subscribe for more content. We do have some changes coming in the new year. We're going to share more with you as that kind of develops and it moves along. We'll give you some more information. But we're going to keep coming with more content, and we're going to keep improving. And if you have any ideas for us, things that you want to see, please don't hesitate to reach out. Leave your comments below. We love to hear from you. Until next time, goodbye 2020. Welcome 2021. Happy New Year. And thank you all for watching.
2021 Faith.